Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, in whichever time you're watching this. Welcome to SSC Sikkim Static and Current, your one place for general knowledge, history, and current affairs of Sikkim. In this video, we will do the detailed analysis of 4 general awareness questions related to Sikkim asked in Undersecretary Prelims paper 2017 of SPSC. There were a total of 4 questions which were asked from Sikkim in this examination, which carried around 30% of the marks weightage in the general awareness section. This video is the 4th video of 25 video lecture series of solved SPSC Sikkim GS questions. The first 3 videos have already been uploaded in the channel, in which I have done the analysis of questions asked in 3 important SPSC papers. If you have not watched it, please do it after seeing this video. If you are an aspirant for any government exam, a researcher, or an enthusiast of Sikkim's general knowledge, follow SSC Sikkim to quench your thirst of Sikkim's general knowledge. Let us have the brief overview of the session which we are going to have. First of all, we will have the analysis of 4 Sikkim GS questions asked in SPSC Undersecretary Prelims Exam 2017. Followed by, we have 5 practice questions from the previous session, that is video 3. And in the last, we have question of the session. If in any near future, you need to revise this lecture, you may not need to watch this video again. Instead, a PDF of this PowerPoint presentation have been compiled for you, which you can download it from the PDF file link given in the description box of this video. It will just cost you 15 rupees. If you buy this PDF, it would be a great support to us, which would motivate us to bring you this kind of videos in future. Please download the PDF after this session and extend your support to us. Here we come to the first question, which was asked in Undersecretary Prelims paper 2017. The question is, in 1870, Sikkim and British India signed the following treaty. So here are 4 options, that is Treaty of Titania, Sugali Treaty, Rajbhatkhawa Treaty, or Galing Treaty. Out of these 4 options, which was the treaty signed by Sikkim and the British India in 1870 is the question which was asked in the exam. When we read the history of Sikkim, we come to know that there are many treaties and the agreements which have been responsible for the present day Sikkim. So before answering this question, let us analyze all of these treaties and the agreements one by one in the context of Sikkim. So the first treaty is the Treaty of Titania. The Treaty of Titania was signed in the year 1817. Which happens to be our answer as well, as the question is in 1817, Sikkim and British India signed the following treaty. So our answer is Treaty of Titania. So in case of Treaty of Titania, it was signed in 1817. This treaty was signed between the Chogyal of the Kingdom of Sikkim and the British East India Company. So what was the purpose of this treaty? The purpose of this treaty was guaranteed security of Sikkim by the British and return Sikkimese land annexed by the Nepalese over the centuries. Turning the pages of the history of Sikkim, we come to know that the Nepalese had annexed Sikkim's land for so many times. So what were the 2 purposes of Treaty of Titania? The first purpose was the guaranteed security of Sikkim by the British, and the second purpose was the return of the Sikkimese land annexed by the Nepalese over the centuries. So this was the required purpose. So this was all about Treaty of Titania. Now let us move on to the second treaty. The second treaty is the Treaty of Sugali. This treaty do not have any direct relation with Sikkim, as it was signed between the British East India Company and the Nepal. But why this Treaty of Sugali is important in the Sikkim's context? Because through this treaty, the Sikkimese territories annexed by the Nepalese was returned to Sikkim in 1817. As we all know, that Treaty of Titania which we just read, it was signed in 1817. But before 1817, in 1816, a Treaty of Sugali was signed between British East India Company and Nepal. So as you can see, the British, that is the East India Company, promised to return the land to the Sikkim which was annexed by the Nepalese in the Treaty of Titania. And this Treaty of Titania was possible due to another treaty, that is Treaty of Sugali, which was succeeded by Treaty of Titania. As Treaty of Sugali was signed in 1816 and Treaty of Titania was signed in 1817. Let us revise. In 1816, the British East India Company and Nepal signed a treaty by the name of Treaty of Sugali. What happened in the Treaty of Sugali? Nepal returned the territories annexed by the Nepalese to Sikkim in 1817. Actually, it was not directly returned to Sikkim, but at first it was given to the British in 1816. And in the year 1817, by the name of Treaty of Titania, which was signed between British East India Company and the Chogyal or the Kingdom of Sikkim, British handed over the Sikkimese territory back to Sikkim, which they got from the Nepal in the Treaty of Sugali. So here we can see the Treaty of Sugali, which was signed in 1816, and after the Treaty of Sugali, it was the Treaty of Titania which was signed. Treaty of Titania. Okay, Treaty of Titania. This treaty was signed in 1817. And this Treaty of Sugali was signed between British East India Company and Nepal, in which the British gained the control of the Sikkimese territory from Nepal. And in the Treaty of Titania, that is in 1817, which was signed between the Chogyal of Sikkim and the British East India Company, the kingdom was given back to Sikkim. And also some security was guaranteed to Sikkim by the British by this Treaty of Titania. So Treaty of Titania was signed in the year 1870, and Treaty of Sugali was signed 1 year before Treaty of Titania, that is 1860. Now let us learn about another treaty, that is Treaty of Thumblang. It was signed in the year 1861. Which two parties signed this treaty? The treaty was signed between Great Britain and the Kingdom of Sikkim. And the Kingdom of Sikkim at that time was represented by the Sikkim, who was the Chogyal or the King of Sikkim in the year 1861. What was the purpose of the Treaty of Thumblang? It secured protection for the travelers to Sikkim and guaranteed free trade, thereby making the state a de facto British protectorate. So by the Treaty of Thumblang, it was ensured that any traveler to Sikkim would be secured against any threat, and also a free trade was guaranteed in Sikkim. That is, no tax would be imposed by the Sikkimese monarchy on any British people who would trade in Sikkim, thereby making a state a de facto British protectorate. So as we all have read in the previous video that in 1950 by the Indo-Sikkimese Treaty, which we are going to read in the next slide, Sikkim was actually India's protectorate, okay, which was ensured by this treaty. But before 1950, that is from the year 1861, Sikkim was already a British de facto protectorate, okay. So it can be concluded that from the year 1861 till the year 1950, Sikkim was British protectorate, and from the year 1950 till the year 1975, before becoming a state of India, Sikkim was Indian protectorate. So the Treaty of Thumblang, which was signed in 1861 between Great Britain and the Kingdom of Sikkim, which was represented by the Sikkim, that is the then Chogyal of Sikkim. The purpose of this treaty was to secure the protection for the travelers to Sikkim, that is the British travelers to Sikkim, and also guarantee free trade, that is no tax would be imposed on anyone who would trade in Sikkim belonging to Great Britain, thereby making the state a de facto British protectorate. By the word de facto, we mean that it may not be legal, but it is practical. That is, practically, Sikkim was British protectorate. Why practically? Because Sikkim was a weak monarchy as compared to the British Empire. And therefore, by making Sikkim a de facto British protectorate, British wanted to show the dominance over the Kingdom of Sikkim, which is inferior to them in terms of power. So this was all about Treaty of Thumblang. And now we learn about Indo-Sikkimese Treaty, which we have already discussed in the previous videos and also in the previous slide just now. So we will just see it quickly. So the year in which the Indo-Sikkimese Treaty was signed is 1950, as we all know. It was signed between Kingdom of Sikkim and the Indian government. And what was the purpose? As we have already discussed, that to make Sikkim an Indian protectorate. What is the meaning of protectorate? That by the word protectorate, the Indian government would directly have the control over Sikkim's external affairs, foreign relations and trade. So this was Indo-Sikkimese Treaty. So far we have learned Treaty of Titania, which was signed in 1870, and then we learned the Sugali Treaty, which was signed in 1860, after which we learned Treaty of Thumblang, which was signed in 1861, as you all can see, and then we just now learned Indo-Sikkimese Treaty, which was signed in 1950. So these are the four important treaties in the context of Sikkim's history. And now we come to the very important agreement signed between Chogyal of Sikkim, Palden Thondup Namgyal, who was the last Chogyal, the Indian government represented by the Foreign Secretary Keval Singh, along with the representatives of the three political parties, of Sikkim, Sikkim Janata Congress, Sikkim National Congress and Sikkim National Party. So this tripartite agreement was signed between three parties, as the word tree says. The first party was the Chogyal of Sikkim, okay, who represented Sikkim. The second party was the political parties, okay, political parties of Sikkim. And the third party is the government of India. Who represented the government of India? He was Keval Singh, okay. Who was Keval Singh? He was the foreign secretary. Before we move on to the actual context of this agreement, let us quickly look at the India-Sikkim merger. As you all know, in the 16th May 1975, Sikkim was merged into the Indian Union, right? Sikkim was merged into the Indian Union. When was the date? It was 16th May 1975. Before 1975, Sikkim was a monarchy. So by this, we can say that there was no democracy in Sikkim or there was no elections in Sikkim. But during 1970s, many political parties were forming in Sikkim. Though Sikkim was monarchy at that time, the formation of such political parties was a way of protest. The protest was against the monarchy or the dissent against the Chogyal. Hence, this tripartite agreement was signed between the Chogyal, the political parties of Sikkim which represented the people of Sikkim, and the government of India, represented by the Foreign Secretary Keval Singh. What was the purpose of this agreement? The purpose of this agreement was to curb out the monarchy in Sikkim and implement one person, one vote, that is the democracy of Sikkim. And only after this agreement, Sikkim was merged into the Indian Union in the year 1975, that is 2 years later after this agreement. So let us revise. When was the tripartite agreement signed? It was signed in the year 1973. Between whom this agreement was signed? It was signed between Chogyal of Sikkim, that is the last Chogyal. The name of the Chogyal is Palden Thondok Namgyal. So the agreement was signed between Chogyal of Sikkim and political parties of Sikkim and government of India represented by the Foreign Secretary Keval Singh. Which were the three political parties to represent? The three political parties were Sikkim Janata Congress, Sikkim National Congress and Sikkim National Party. What was the purpose of this agreement? The purpose of this agreement was to curb out the monarchy in Sikkim and implement one person, one vote. So here we learned about 5 different treaties and the agreement. What are those 5 treaties? Let us quickly revise through these revision columns. Let us start with Treaty of Sugali. First of all, it was Treaty of Sugali which was signed in 1816 between East India Company and Nepal. The Treaty of Sugali was followed by Treaty of Titania, that is 1 year later. The land which British got from Nepal was returned to Sikkim. Okay. The Treaty of Titania was signed in the year 1870 between the Chogyal and the British East India Company. The purpose of this treaty was guaranteed security of Sikkim by the British and returned Sikkimese land annexed by the Nepalese over century. The third treaty, that is Treaty of Thumblang, was signed in 1861. So please remember the date. First 1816, then 1817, and then in the year 1861 the Treaty of Thumblang was signed between Great Britain and Kingdom of Sikkim. Who represented Kingdom of Sikkim? It was Sikkim Namgyal, the then Chogyal of Sikkim. What was the purpose? It secured the protection for travelers to Sikkim and guaranteed free trade, thereby making the state a de facto British protectorate. The fourth treaty was Indo-Sikkimese Treaty, or it is also known by Indo-Sikkim Peace Treaty. When it was signed in 1950 between Kingdom of Sikkim and Indian government. What was the purpose? To make Sikkim an Indian protectorate. And the final blow, the tripartite agreement. When it was signed in 8th May 1973. As the word says, three means it was signed among three parties. Who were those parties? The first party was Chogyal of Sikkim. The second party was the government of India represented by the Foreign Secretary Keval Singh. And the third parties were the political parties of Sikkim at that time, that is Sikkim Janata Congress, Sikkim National Congress and the Sikkim National Party. What was the purpose of tripartite agreement? The purpose was to curb out the monarchy in Sikkim and to implement one person, one vote. So with this, we complete all the treaties and the important agreements in the context of Sikkim's history. Let us go to the next question. The question asks, which article in Indian Constitution is a special provision for Sikkim? As we all know that when Sikkim was merged into Indian Union in the year 1975, there was an amendment made to the Indian Constitution. Which amendment was it made? The amendment was 36th amendment. What do we mean by amendment? It means change, right? We all know in the year 1950 Indian Constitution was drafted, and there have been subsequent changes in the Indian Constitution according to the requirement of the different conditions in the country. One such requirement was the merger of the Kingdom of Sikkim into the Indian Union as a state, for which the amendment was required. Now, as we all know, that Constitution is a huge book, right? What kind of book? It's a book with a set of rules and the values, or a body of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which any state or other organization is acknowledged to be governed, right? So our Indian Constitution was drafted in the year 1950. Now, as I said, that the Indian Constitution is a used book, okay? And we all know any kind of book contains many chapters, right? So the chapters in the Indian Constitutions are known as articles, okay? And now there are different articles. There are so many articles in the Indian Constitution reserved for different purposes, for different states or for different territories in the Indian Union, for different set of rules, for different set of duties and the guidelines, right? And those articles are given the names of numbers, right? For example, Article 370 is one such article which is related to Jammu and Kashmir, okay? And similarly, Article 371 is another article. Now, here it is been asked that which article of Indian Constitution is a special provision for Sikkim. Now, here you can see there are different alphabets, that is A, F and D, and similar kind of alphabets behind this article numbers. So this 371 is not a lone article. Below this 371, there are many sub-articles known as 371A, 371B, 371C and so on, right? And each of these different articles are assigned for different states or union territory for special provision assigned to them. Now let us analyze each of them. Here you can see, first of all, it's Article 371. As you can see here, there is no any alphabet here, right? Now the question is, when was it amended? Here you can see that the Article 371 was originally present in the Indian Constitution, right? So when the Constitution was drafted in the year 1950, the Article 371 was already there. For what purpose Article 371 was there? It was there for the special provision for Maharashtra and Gujarat, okay? As we all know that Maharashtra and Gujarat are the states in India, right? And the article which gives them the special provision is the Article 371, okay? Followed by Article 371A, okay? Article 371A. While Article 371 was already present in the Indian Constitution, Article 371A was not there when the Constitution was drafted. It was amended in, the Constitution was amended in the year 1962 by the 13th Amendment Act 1962, okay? Means the Constitution was amended 12 times before this, okay? And the Article 371A, which came after the 13th Amendment Act of 1962, it gave special provision to Nagaland, right? So whatever special provisions are given to Nagaland by the Indian Constitution, it is due to the 13th Amendment Act of 1962, which comes under the Article 371A. Now moving on to another article, that is 371B. This article came as a result of the 22nd Amendment Act in the year 1969, right? In the year 1969, the Constitution was amended, that is the Constitution was changed for the 22nd time, and a new article, that is Article 371B under Article 371 was added, which gave special provision to the state of Assam. So whatever special provision is given to Assam by the Indian Constitution, it is due to the Article 371B. Followed by B, Article 371C is there. It came as a result of 27th Amendment Act of 1971, right? Constitution was amended for the 27th time, and it gave rise to an article called Article 371C, and this gave a special provision to the state of Manipur, okay? Followed by an important article of Constitution, that is Article 371D. It came as a result of 32nd Amendment Act 1973, okay? And at that time, only special provision was given to Andhra Pradesh. But as you all know that after 2014, a new state had been added into the Indian Union with the name Telangana. How this Telangana came? Into this 32nd Amendment Act 1973, a sub-amendment, that is a sub-change, a small change was again added, okay? and the name of this change was Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. Okay, means this article, that is 371D, was again edited. You can see it was added Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014 plus 32nd Amendment Act 1973 gave rise to the special provisions given to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Followed by Article 371E. Now we do not have any amendment mentioned here, okay, but Article 371E gives special provision to the establishment of central university. Okay, this question has been asked in some of the examination, that which article in the Indian Constitution gives special provision for the establishment of central university. Then the name of the article is 371E. However, there is no special amendment mentioned for this article. Now we come to the very important article, that is Article 371F, because it is related to Sikkim. Okay, it is related to Sikkim, which is our state. Okay, so the Article 371F, it came as a result of 36th Amendment Act. Means the constitution was changed, the constitution was edited for the 36th time, okay, in the year 1975, which gave rise to the Article 371F, which gave special provision to the state of Sikkim, okay, as per the India-Sikkim merger in 16th May 1975. So this is very important, and I think the answer to the question, that is which article of Indian Constitution is a special provision for Sikkim, so it's Article 371F is our answer. Okay, now what is Article 371A? I think you all can say Article 371A gives special provision for Nagaland. So this article is for Nagaland, right? Article 371A is for Nagaland. What is Article 370A? We don't know exactly, but Article 370 only is for Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so this is not for Sikkim. And what is Article 371D? We just read that Article 371D is for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. That is 32nd Amendment Act 1973 and Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act 2014. So this Article 371D is for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. But our answer to this question, which we have already got, it is 371F. Okay, under 371F article, the Indian Constitution gives special provision for Sikkim. As you can see, Article 371G, 53rd Amendment Act 1986 gives special provision to Mizoram. Article 371H, 55th Amendment Act 1986 gives special provision to Arunachal Pradesh. And now Article 371I gives special provision to Goa. There is no amendment mentioned. And finally Article 371J, which is 98th Amendment Act 2012, okay, and it gives special provision to Karnataka. So these are the important articles which creates confusion whenever we read about Article 371F related to Sikkim. So you need to remember that the special article for Sikkim is Article 371F, but whenever there are other alphabets attached to Article 371 other than F, we are talking about other states special provision. Only if there is F, that is 371F article, we are talking about Sikkim. But if there are other alphabets, that is 371 A, B, C, D, E, okay, so then we are talking about other states special provision. So here you can see both articles 370 and 371 were part of Constitution at the time of its commencement on January 26, 1950. So here you can see there are no alphabets attached to these numbers. Means when we are talking about Article 370, it is only Article 370 and not 370A, 370B, 370C. And when it is mentioned 371, it is only Article 371 and not its sub clauses, that is 371A, 371B. Okay, so only the Article 370 and 371 were originally part of Constitution, and all the other articles, that is if we talk about 371A, 371B, C, D, E, all these articles came as a result of amendments which were done later after 1950. Okay, Articles 371A through Article 371J were incorporated subsequently. So it is talking this only, that this Article 371A till A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, everything was incorporated subsequently, means after 1950. So incorporated means it was amended. Okay, it came as a result of amendment, right? So here it is mentioned that Article 371 gives special provision for Maharashtra and Gujarat. Okay, you all can please read all the details. This video would be quite longer if I read all this. This will be provided in the PDF. You can read for your reference later on. But whatever important things are there, we have already covered. Article 371F, which is the most important one, 36th Amendment Act 1975, Sikkim. It gives special provision to Sikkim. Let us read this one. So according to this special article, what special provision is given to Sikkim? Here it is mentioned. Okay, the members of the Legislative Assembly of Sikkim shall elect the representative of Sikkim in the House of People. So this is one provision given, special provision. Another provision is to protect the rights and interests of various sections of the population of Sikkim. Second provision. The third provision is Parliament may provide for the number of seats in the Assembly which may be filled only by candidates from those sections. So this is the third special provision. Okay, there are many other important provisions, but among those, these are the three main provisions for Sikkim in our Indian Constitution as per 36th Amendment Act 1975 under Article 371F and Article 371J, which comes as a result of 98th Amendment Act 2012. It gives special provision to Karnataka. Please read all these details by yourself. You will get all this in the PDF from the PDF download link in the description if you all wish to buy the PDF. So this is again a revision slide mentioning special provision for different states against these articles. So here also you can revise. Let us move on to the next question. So this is an important question. Sikkim falls in which of the following earthquake zones? Okay, Sikkim falls in which of the following earthquake zones? You all know what an earthquake is, right? So whenever earthquake comes, entire earth becomes shaky. Means vibration takes place, right? Vibration of the earth takes place and there are so many losses of lives and properties. We very well remember the 2011 Great Himalayan earthquake, right? The epicenter of which was in Sikkim. It caused a lot of deaths and a lot of damage to the properties in Sikkim. So as we can see that Sikkim falls in one of the earthquake prone zones, right? Means there are high possibilities of the occurrences of the earthquake in Sikkim. Before answering this question, let us read what are earthquake or the seismic zones and how are they divided in India. Okay, so here is the list of earthquake or the seismic zones in India. So based on the past seismic history, Bureau of India Standards grouped the country into the 4 seismic zones, namely Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4 and Zone 5. Of all these 4 zones, Zone 5 is the most seismic active region, whereas Zone 2 is the least. So here you can see India is divided into different zones, right? India is divided into different zones. On what basis? On the basis that which is the most earthquake prone area and which is the least earthquake prone area. So as per the intensity of the occurrence of the earthquake in the different areas of India, India is divided into different zones as per the earthquake's intensity. So here, first of all, it is zone 2, means it's low intensity zone, means it is very least prone to earthquake. Okay, means there are very low chances of earthquake here. And here you can see that it is rated 6 on the MMI scale. What is MMI scale? It is the modified Mercalli intensity scale, that is MM or MMI, developed from the Giuseppe Mercalli's Mercalli intensity scale of 1902. Is a seismic intensity scale used for measuring the intensity of shaking produced by an earthquake. Okay, so it is a scale which generally measures the intensity of the earthquake. Okay, so as per the MMI scale, if there is the rating of 6 or less, then the place comes under zone 2, that is low intensity zone. If the MMI scale is 7, it comes under, the place comes under zone 3, which is moderate intensity zones, means there are moderate chances that earthquake may happen there, or even if they happen, the shake or the vibration it causes is of moderate level. Okay, and zone 4, which is of severe intensity zone, means more than moderate, okay, more than average. So if the intensity on MMI scale is 8, it is categorized under severe intensity zone or zone 4. Means there are high chances that earthquake will come and it will cause a severe damage. And if the MMI scale is more than 8, that is 9 and above, then the place is categorized under zone 5 or very severe intensity zones. Means there are very high chances that earthquake will come and it will cause serious damages to the lives and properties of people. Okay. So India is divided into these 4 zones as per its geographical location and as per the intensity of the earthquake's vibration or the shaking caused by it. So our question, that is, Sikkim falls in which of the following earthquake zones? As you all can see from the map that Sikkim comes under this brown region, right? And here you can see that the brown region is zone 4. So Sikkim falls in earthquake zone of zone 4. What is zone 4? Zone 4 is of severe intensity zone, means more than the moderate and less than very severe. Means in Sikkim, it is not that there are very high chances that the earthquake will come, but as Sikkim comes under severe intensity zone, Sikkim is an earthquake prone area. So Sikkimese people always need to be alert. So the answer to our question is zone 4, that is, Sikkim falls in zone 4 of the earthquake zone in India. Let us go to the next question. Which one of the following Indian states does not share a border with 3 countries? A pretty simple question. This question was the last Sikkim GS question asked in the Undersecretary Prelims paper. Okay, this is the last question we are analyzing. So it's a pretty straightforward question, that which of the following Indian states, here are the 4 Indian states given in the options, and we need to take the odd one out. On what basis? That out of these 4, there are 3 states which share its border with 3 countries. And there is one state out of these 4 that does not share its border with 3 countries. Let us see Sikkim. Okay, Sikkim, here you can see in the map, here it's China, here it's Bhutan, and here it's Nepal. So Sikkim is surrounded by 3 countries, means Sikkim is out of the question. Okay, now let us see West Bengal. From the south, it is bordered by Bangladesh, right? And here it is bordered by Bhutan. Okay, and here it is bordered by Nepal. So West Bengal is also bordered by 3 countries. It is also out of the question. So Arunachal Pradesh, here you can see, where is Arunachal Pradesh? It is here. From here it's China. Okay, from here it's Myanmar, and from here it's Bhutan. Again, Arunachal Pradesh is also bordered by 3 countries. So Arunachal Pradesh is also ruled out. Means our last option, which is our correct answer, is Mizoram. So it is very likely that Mizoram is the correct answer. Let us see. Where is Mizoram? Mizoram is here. Okay, Mizoram is here. Here you can see from this side it is surrounded by, it is bordered by Myanmar. Okay, and from this side it is bordered by Bangladesh. Means there are only 2 countries bordering Mizoram and not 3. So Mizoram is the correct answer. Okay, so here you can see in these columns that there are 9 states. Okay, 8 states from the northeast and 1 state is West Bengal, which we often talk about. Okay, in this column it is state, and in this column, that is in the middle column, it's border with the other states. Means here you can see that Sikkim borders with only West Bengal. Okay, and here border with the countries. Okay, means Sikkim borders with China, Bhutan, and Nepal. So 3 countries borders Sikkim and 1 Indian state borders Sikkim. West Bengal is bordered by Odisha from here, and then it is bordered by Jharkhand from here, and then it is bordered by Bihar from here. Okay, and it is bordered by Sikkim from here, and it is bordered by Assam from here, right? So West Bengal is bordered by 5 states, and when we talk about countries, West Bengal is bordered by Bangladesh from here. Okay, it is bordered by Bhutan from here, and it is bordered by Nepal from here. So West Bengal is bordered by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states, and 1, 2, 3, 3 countries. Okay, 5 states and 3 countries. Let us talk about Assam. Assam is here. So it is bordered by Arunachal Pradesh from here, Nagaland from here, Manipur from here, Mizoram from here, Tripura from here, Meghalaya from here. Okay, so Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, Meghalaya, and also it is bordered by West Bengal from this side. So Assam is the northeastern state which have the most state borders in its surrounding. Okay, here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 borders. 6 states are surrounding the Assam state. Okay, so we talked about state. Now what are the countries with borders with Assam? So the country with borders with Assam is only Bangladesh and the Kingdom of Bhutan. Here you can see that Assam is bordered by Bhutan from here, and Assam is bordered by Bangladesh from this small portion. Let us talk about Nagaland. Okay, Nagaland, here you can see, where is Nagaland? Nagaland is here. Okay, so Nagaland is bordered by here you can see it's Arunachal Pradesh, it is Assam, and it is Manipur. So here we can see Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Manipur surrounds Nagaland. And when we talk about the border country of the Nagaland, it is only Myanmar. as you can see, from this side it is locked with Indian states, and only from this side it is bordered with Myanmar, which is only one country. Okay, when we talk about Manipur, where is Manipur? Manipur is here. So from this side it's Nagaland, this side it's Assam, this side it's Mizoram, and is it Tripura? No, only Assam, Mizoram, and Nagaland. So Manipur is surrounded, that is bordered by only 3 states, and it is also bordered by only one country, that is Myanmar, which is from this side. As you can see, from this side it is surrounded with Indian states, and Manipur from this side it is bordered with Myanmar, that is only one country. And Meghalaya, this is a very special state because Meghalaya is the only state in the northeast, okay, which only borders with one state. So where is Meghalaya? Here you can see, here is Meghalaya. Okay, I think this can be pretty confusing for you all. Let me erase this. Okay, it's been erased. So from this side Meghalaya is surrounded by Assam, and no other state is touching Meghalaya. Okay, and from this side it is only bordered by Bangladesh. So state-wise Meghalaya only borders with Assam, and country-wise Meghalaya only borders with Bangladesh. Okay, when we talk about Mizoram, Mizoram it is here. Okay, so from this side it is Tripura, from this side it is Manipur, and from this side it is Assam. Okay, so Manipur, Tripura, and Assam. And Mizoram also borders with 2 countries, that is Bangladesh and Myanmar. Here you can see in the map, this is Mizoram, and from this side it's Myanmar, and from this side it's Bangladesh. Okay, so the 2 countries surrounds Mizoram. And similarly Tripura, Tripura also borders with only 2 states, that is Assam and Mizoram. Here it is Tripura. Okay, so here it's Assam and here it's Mizoram. Okay, so Tripura also borders with 2 states and again 1 country. So as you can see, Tripura is here, and only 1 country, that is Bangladesh, is touching Tripura. Okay, and finally Arunachal Pradesh, okay, which is in the top, shares its borders with Assam as an Indian state, okay, and Nagaland from this side, that is a very small corridor. Okay, and the remaining border it shares with China. Okay, and the remaining border it shares with China. This is the reason that Arunachal Pradesh is often bullied as Chinese territory. But we as Indians should always know that Arunachal Pradesh is not a Chinese territory, but an integral part of India. It only shares its borders with China, but as a state, it is a part of India, a part of Northeast India, a part of Seven Sisters, a part of Northeast Council. So Arunachal Pradesh, state-wise, it shares its borders with Assam and Nagaland, and country-wise, it shares major of its borders with China, then Bhutan, and then Myanmar. So this table is very, very important because many questions can be formed from this table. Okay, it can be asked that what are the Indian states which only shares its borders with one country, or which is the only Indian state to share its border with only one state and one country. So it's an exception, it's Meghalaya, right? One state Assam, one country Bangladesh. Okay, so how many northeastern states shares its borders with only one country? So here you can see Nagaland with Myanmar, Manipur with Myanmar, Meghalaya with Bangladesh, and Tripura with Bangladesh. So there are 4 states, 4 northeastern states which shares borders with 2 countries. So in this way there are many questions which can be formed. Okay, so please download the PDF from the PDF link description and remember this table and try to memorize this table. So with this we complete the analysis of the 4 questions asked in Under Secretary Prelims paper 2017 of SPSC from the Sikkim GS portion. So now we have 5 practice questions from the previous lecture, that is video 3. Okay, so there is a small contest. The first 3 correct answers in the comment box will get the free PDF of the last 3 lectures, that is video 2, 3 and 4. Okay, not 1, 2 and 3 but 2, 3 and 4 till now. What are the terms and conditions for this contest? You need to answer all the 5 questions correctly, okay, which will be upcoming in the next slide. Okay, and the second condition is you need to mention your email or the WhatsApp with answer where your free PDF will be sent if shortlisted. That is, if your answer is correct. That is, if you are among the first 3 correct answers in the comment box. So here are the 5 practice questions from the previous lecture, that is video 3. Okay, that is the 3rd video. So the first question is, Ramam is the tributary of which major river? The second question is, as per 2011 census, what is the total number of villages in Sikkim? The third question is, after which treaty Sikkim was made an Indian protectorate? The fourth question is, what is the other route for Kailash Mansarovar Yatra apart from Nathula Pass? And the final question is, for how many years Sikkim remained India's protectorate? So these are the 5 questions. Please give the correct answer in the comment box. And the first 3 of you who will give the correct answer will be eligible to get 3 PDF of video 2, video 3 and this video, that is video 4. And now the most important part, that is the answer to the question of the session which was asked in video 3. In video 3, you were asked to identify this person in the picture. There was one person shown in this picture in the third video. You were asked to identify this person in the picture. So let us see who the person is. The name of this person on the picture is Hope Cook. Okay, Hope Cook. Who was Hope Cook? Hope Cook, who was born on June 24, 1940, is an American who was the Gyalmo, that is the queen consort of the 12th Chogyal of Sikkim, Palden Thondo Namgyal. Okay, so the last Chogyal of Sikkim had married Hope Cook, who was from America. Okay, and she was the Gyalmo. Gyalmo means queen of Sikkim. Okay, and she is still alive. Okay? And she lives in America. Their wedding took place in 1963. She was termed Her Highness the Crown Prince of Sikkim and became the Gyalmo of Sikkim at Palden Thonduk Namgyal's coronation in 1965. So the answer to the question of the session which was asked in the previous video was Hope Cook. So the name of this person is Hope Cook, who was the Gyalmo of Sikkim. Now let us know who gave the correct answer to this question. SSC Sikkim would like to congratulate Mr. Ashish Sharma, who has correctly identified this person in this picture. He will get the free PDF for this entire series of 25 video as a reward for this correct answer. A big congratulations to Ashish. Now let us move on to the question of this session. So again there is a contest. In the very way Ashish was rewarded with the free PDFs for the entire 25 sessions, you can also get the chance to get this free PDFs. You need to give correct answer to the question of the session which is going to be asked in the next slide. The first correct answer in the comment box will get free PDF for all 25 lectures of the SPSC series. What are the terms and conditions? The first term is you need to answer this question correctly. And the second thing is you need to mention your email or WhatsApp with answer where your free PDFs will be sent if shortlisted. Now let us see the question of the session. So the question of the session is, recently a name Sandhya Gurum was in news. What is the context? So please write your answer in the comment box, and the one of you who will be the first to give the correct answer will be given 25 free PDFs for this entire session of 25 lectures. Wish you all all the best. So with this, we complete the session. If you wish to download the PDF of this session, you can always click the PDF buy link in the description box. In the next video, we will meet with the analysis of Sikkim GS questions asked in Assistant Engineer, Agriculture and Dental Surgeon Junior Grade. Till then, take care and stay safe and joyful. Thank you so much.